What's up? This is Seth with Discovr Radio. I'm here with Bradley Hale.
Hi.
Bradley, thanks for sitting down with me today, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me out.
Yeah, dude. So we are here at Departure Fest in Toronto. Tell me, is this your first time at Departure Fest, or have you done this? I guess this is the second year now, right?
Yeah.
Of Departure.
Yeah, so I actually was part of it last year as well. I played a show for it at the Rec Room, just by the CN Tower there.
Oh, okay.
And, yeah, it was awesome. It's great that it's such an awesome week in Toronto to take over the whole city, and like so much great music that happens the whole week. It's pretty fun to be a part of.
I've heard from other Canadians that this is like the hub here, and it's a very tight-knit group here in, like, Canadian musicians are tight-knit to begin with, but then you come to Toronto and this is the hub.
Yeah. It's I'm from about an hour and a half away from here, so I don't get to come to Toronto a whole lot, but it's always fun to be in the city and see some of the friends that are hanging out in here full time, and it's a cool spot.
Talk to me about this. You're more in the Americana, maybe country vein, your music. And forgive me, maybe this is a silly question, but as an American, to me, that's like down south. That's in, I'm talking Nashville, I'm talking Texas.
Yeah.
We're way far from there. So where did that come into play in your life? And do you find that that's a pretty common genre here in Canada?
I'd say like country is way more popular than a lot of people think in Canada, because there are big cities like Toronto and Vancouver and that kind of stuff, but a lot of it is rural areas and small towns. And like, I grew up listening to country music, and because I grew up in such a small town, I grew up working on my grandparents' farm, and so that whole kind of life is what I've been writing these songs about, and growing up that way, and kind of living that way, really. So
you're not faking anything?
No, 100%.
Yeah.
No, not. I didn't go down south and go, oh, I should write songs about this. It was in my backyard. So it's definitely a big thing up here, and I think a lot of people don't realize it until they kind of come up and see where we come from, and they go, oh wow, this is actually pretty similar.
Yeah, I had no idea. So that's awesome, man. Talk to me about like your career, man, and what's been like the biggest challenge you feel like has been. What's the biggest challenge that you've faced in your career so far?
That's a good question. I've had so much fun doing this over the past couple of years that I've been chasing it, and I think like the biggest challenge for everybody is finding a way to cut through all the noise. Like, there's so much going on. There's so many people releasing music. There's so much going on social media and all that stuff. Getting good at finding a way to, okay, what makes me different than everybody else, and how do I make sure that comes across in whether it's my music or socials or all that. And I think especially on social media, maybe have a little bit of work to do because it doesn't come as natural as the music thing for me, but yeah, trying to find a way to connect to people that are interested in what I have to offer and my story.
Do you feel like in that connection, the algorithm plays a huge role in that? Do you think that the algorithm is helping or hurting artists?
That's a tough one too. It's some people it helps immediately, and you can see like it's like, oh wow, the algorithm has pushed them to their perfect brand of people. Like everybody goes, yes, this is exactly what I was looking for. And I think sometimes you also can get lost in it. Like, there's lots of great artists that maybe aren't getting the popularity that they deserve. Whether it's just because of luck or because the algorithm chooses who it is. But I feel like if you keep at it and you keep working on it and you really want it and you figure out ways to kind of go, okay, this worked and this didn't work, I think that the algorithm will eventually reward the people that are consistent and intentional in the way that they brand themselves and continue to like pursue the crowd.
I'm a believer too, man. I hope that
exactly.
That is the case, that if you just keep being
100%.
you. If you could wave a magic wand, like, and just change anything about the industry, what would you do? What would you change?
These are good questions. I don't know, wave a magic wand. I think I would make it so that it's like, that is the one thing that's tough, is cutting through the noise and finding your people or whatever. Like being able to be connected directly with with your audience and growing it through maybe a more direct connection than just relying on the algorithm or relying on other things like that. Like I love live shows because of that, because it's a direct connection with people, and like that's my favorite thing. Part about it, it's like playing on stage and you see somebody singing your songs, or they're getting even if they don't know the song and they're just vibing to it, and like you can see that it's really like connecting. That's my favorite part. So that maybe if I wave a magic wand, it would be that, to be able to directly connect with everybody. That's
awesome. Being in the Americana genre, do you find that a lot of the connections you're making to your audience are a lot of your audience members in America?
I'd say that like right now, I definitely see some streams and stuff, like when you check on Spotify and stuff, you can see that it's getting streamed in the South and stuff like that, which is super cool.
Sure.
I'd say like most of my audience is still probably Canadian based, but yeah, it's cool to see that there are people picking up on it, because it is like it's music that isn't far from what people are doing in the South as well.
Well, and I was going to ask if it's been a challenge, if they are from the States, then how do you get to the States and service those fans? You know, that could be a challenge, I'm sure. Yeah. Have you dealt with any of that, getting to the States or trying to play shows in the States?
We haven't crossed that kind of threshold yet where we are trying to book tours or book shows in the States as much. Just because we're in Canada, there's lots of opportunity up here as well.
Cool.
But would love to do it someday once we figure out, visas and like getting a way to play down there and stuff. Would love to go down to the States and do a run of shows, and if it ever is possible.
Dude, it'll start in Nashville, where you do a lot of writing.
Yeah,
you just told me.
100%.
Talk to me about the radio, man, and has radio played a role in your career, and do you think that it's even still relevant in the music industry?
Yeah, I think radio still will always play a part in music, and especially country music. It's such a big, it's such a big thing for everybody, for songwriters, and because there's such a big songwriting community in Nashville and stuff. Radio's a way that a lot of those guys make money.
Totally.
And so I think that as long as there's that community down there, I think it will always be an important part. And I think that radio in general it is a great way for people to still discover artists, and I hope that it continues to be that way. Like that's the discovery part about radio is my favorite part. I think like everybody can go and listen to the big guys on their streaming services. That's who they can choose to listen to on their own. The radio, if they're picking new artists and showcasing them, maybe that would be a reason for more people to listen to radio than streaming, because they would find new people.
Yeah. Who do you think are those curators today? Who's doing that other than the radio?
Well, the playlisters, for sure. Like, I've gotten to know some of the people over at Apple up here in Canada and Spotify, and they've been great to me, with showcasing my music on big playlists across Apple Music and Spotify and Amazon as well. And I think that's right now where a lot of people will go if they want to go discover. They can put on a playlist that has a bunch of their favorite artists, but it also has sprinkled in some brand new artists that are on the rise.
How would you navigate or help a new artist navigate getting onto some of these playlists and also getting onto the radio? How would you help them navigate getting their music out to other places other than just uploading to a distributor? But what are some of the steps that people should take to really help push a new album push or a new record push?
I think that's something that we're all trying to figure out. But no, I think like reaching out to, like sending your music to people when it's going to come out and stuff like that. Like trying to get the most amount of ears as you can on it and get advice from people and try to see if you have mutual connections and stuff. Like a lot of the time it's finding people that that can kind of help you out and get in your corner with you, to kind of shop you to playlisters or radio, and getting a good team surrounded by you. Good friends, good team, good people that are going to support you through the process, so that it's
the
possible.
Team is something that at Departure Fest in particular, I've done quite a few interviews with artists just over the last few months, and in Canada at Departure in Toronto, everyone says build your team. That's been a very common thing here, and I love that. And I think we can get caught up in the individualistic nature of being an artist and trying to. I'm doing this, you know. But there's a very strong sense of building something here, and I love that. We're getting rained on right now.
Yeah, it is starting to come down.
Any last? We'll cut it here short. But any last remarks? Any plugs that you want to say? Any releases coming out? What do you want to plug?
We just went down to Nashville and recorded a couple new tunes, and so super excited for those to come out. I just released actually a remix of my song, title track off my EP from last November called County Line 5. And so that's out everywhere right now, and we're going to see, we're trying to build out a radio plan for that and see if we can get it heard by some people.
Let's go, dude. All right. You heard it here first. Bradley Hales, thank you so much for hanging out with me, man.
Yeah, thanks so much, man.